The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Hello, this is Strange Lounge with DJ Curious.
In the beginning, there was nothing. But the breath of the Creator fluttered against the face of the void, whispering, "Let there be light."
Hi there. Are you interested in the White House?
We'd have way better CGI if it was fake. Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
God.
All right, welcome in. You found the Strange Lounge. I'm your host, DJ Curious, and with me tonight, I have the one and only marvelous Mark is Sargent.
Thank you.
Oh,
No applause necessary.
Yeah,
no, I'm serious. That you do not have to do applause. I don't deserve it. That's your cue. There we go. No. Please. No, it's okay. No. I mean it this
Audience
time.
with
Seriously, no
Deja.
flowers. No flowers. No, I said no autographs. Get away, you vultures. Okay.
how's it going? Okay, well, welcome everybody to Strange Lounge. If those are just joining us tonight, welcome. Those who caught us in Strange World, that was interesting night. I love replaying your Fireworks era.
Lord, my Fireworks era. Yeah, again, so many lucky, strange, and interesting things have followed me or hunted me down or been lying in wait my entire life, and that was definitely one of my early ones, where I should not be here. I should be in a burn ward somewhere. I should be in a hospital, a disabled hospital with not all my hands and feet. but it was definitely a learning experience. I learned a lot in a short amount of time. I grew up real fast, but I had fun doing it. That was the big thing. If it is not fun, if I am not having fun doing it, then why am I doing it? And fireworks have always been fun, and it was a challenge, and it was kind of this cool thing that nobody else I've never heard anyone do anything quite like it. So
I think it's a lot of kids' dream out there is to become like a master of fireworks and have their own
Right?
production and making money and actually like seeing the explosions come to life everywhere you turn on your little island. I mean, come on, it's definitely someone's fantasy come true. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, all young boys blow up something or set, either play with fire or, use normal fireworks to make other fireworks. But I don't know what it was. There was no high end to it. There was no cap. I just kept going and kept going and kept going until I was doing stuff that was way beyond what I should have been doing, because the argument I had in my own head was, why not?
Sure.
Right? As long as I'm not hurting anybody.
By the time you were a baby, they're like, meanwhile, the flashback to your childhood, it's like you're playing with matches and the parents are like, that's okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
Parents are helping you build firecrackers. You're playing pranks on grandma.
Well, my whole family liked fireworks. That was the other thing. My uncle really liked fireworks, and my grandfather had old fireworks stored away, so nobody had an aversion to them at all.
Mad at you. They basically groomed you, and
Plus, what else are you going to do? I mean, I grew up on a beach, and which is the perfect place to have fireworks, because you just fired them off into the water and do whatever in the water. And
I was wet, right? Most of the time, it's like pretty damp area.
Well, I've gotten rained out of a couple 4th of Julys, but during the 4th, it's usually pretty good. But it's not, the fire danger isn't like when I was in Colorado for 20 years, never touched a firework in Colorado, because there was always the danger of there's always, it's dry, it's high altitude. You could start fires really. And then forest fires, hell, I was there during 2 major forest fires where one forest fire in particular wiped out the president of my company, the whole top of the mountain where he was on, just went through and wiped out all these $1 million homes, which was unfortunate. And that was also, by the way, when I saw some of my early UFO stuff, which was, I'm not kidding you, I'm not making this up. I mean, I even saw it on some of the news footage, and I even wrote to some of the local television stations. I go, you realize you have UFOs that I actually watched live. You got them on camera. It was almost like they were hovering above the forest fire, like they were like looking at it like we do. It's like, oh, something interesting. And they were just hovering above the forest fires.
Well, that's part of the whole alien lore. We'll get to that in a second, about them kind of always being big brother for us, watching over any kind of explosives, watching over humanity. I mean, that's the narrative.
Disasters. Sure. Yeah, I mean, they were all over World War II, for example. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the Foo Fighters. I mean, they got their band name. And what I loved about the Foo Fighters, I don't want to get sidetracked here really quick, is that they were accused. People thought, both sides thought they were the other side. We thought it was the Germans. The Germans thought it was us. And these tiny little UFO, lit up little LED UFO balls that were following the planes during bombing runs. And it's like, what the hell are those things? Right? And we'd report on them. It's like, well, they don't seem to be interfering with the aircraft. Must be the Germans. And only after the war was over, it's like, wasn't us. Wasn't you? No. Who the hell was it? So,
well, it was a big weekend. It was 4th of July weekend. People hopefully out there were having a good time with their friends and family.
They were.
Shout out to the chat for being here. I'm going to quickly show off the background, and then we'll kind of dive back into the headlines for the week. But yeah, I love hearing about your final thought on the fireworks thing. It is a cool backstory. It's, we all have our thing. I was a headband model, as you guys saw last week, which still cracks me up. But
I had an illegal fireworks company.
Yeah, we all did crazy things. Our 20s, they were nuts. We can't be held accountable to things in our 20s. Come on.
There's a time and a place to do everything, and that place is college.
Yeah, and mine was basically when I worked at Chili's. So
nice
background.
Oh yeah, your background was nice. You've got some fun animations there. America 250, the bisesquicentennial, and I don't expect anyone to remember that. Just remember America 250. Yep, bald eagles, red, white, and blue. Very patriotic.
Oh, it's so majestic.
It is.
We're all people.
Thing is, I've got no, you didn't put people in there. Just put bald eagles.
I know. Like, this is where we're at. The only thing I want to see is bald eagles.
I've got bald eagles around here. A lot of them. And they are definitely majestic. Big birds. I had a bald eagle drop like a 12-pound salmon really close to me when I was walking to campus one year.
Really?
Yeah, because they'll pull them out of the water, and sometimes they lose their grip. And this thing hit the sidewalk. It's like, holy crap!
Bald eagles are huge. You guys haven't seen one in person.
Bald eagles are very big. Watch some videos of like a bald eagle going after a fish that it's too heavy to lift out of the water. It will act like a seaplane and just drag the thing to the shore, with these huge wings beating on the water. It's super fun. But
beautiful animals. I've seen a few in the wild, and they always catch my attention. I'm just like, oh, that's incredible creatures. Yeah, I didn't really want a Trump rally. I didn't want anyone else. I just wanted the bald eagles and America 250. That's about as much as I can stomach after what we've experienced.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is perfect.
So yeah, I like your red, white, and blue swirl there with the stars. Very nice.
Yeah, we'll let the portal swirl for a bit before anyone gets hypnotized or seasick.
At least the birds aren't getting sucked into it. Well, I think I see one in the distance that just kind of, it's way off there. It's kind of weird. See that the bald eagle? It's way back in the swirl.
Mm-hmm.
Gives the swirl some depth. I like it.
It's got some cool stuff. But hey, I want to talk. Let's just go into some fireworks fails, just because. Why not? And
fireworks fails. There are a lot of them out there over the years. In fact, I'll give you the after you're done with, I'll give you the fireworks guy to put out there, the Roman candle guy again.
Well, really quick, I'm going to play just what the White House did. It said the U.S. officially breaks the world record for the largest fireworks show in history. So here we go. I mean, it definitely looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I don't know if it's the largest fireworks show in history. I mean, China's done some amazing fireworks things. Again, Trump's going to say it's the biggest fireworks show in history no matter what anyway.
Right. I mean, look, I don't know what to say. It looks like a nuclear blast itself, but there are some funny things that happen. I think as a kid, though, we always want to just think, what would happen if everything got lit up at once? This one just replays in my mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What I want to see. This is what you want to see, right? What happens if...
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff right there. Blow 125 grand in 30 seconds. Oof. Yep.
Giant explosion.
I know how that goes. Because fireworks burn really, really hot, and they ignite everything around it. So yeah, it was one of the shortest, most spectacular shows. That's great.
So how does something like that happen?
The shells are too close to each other, and then the fuses, which are really, really fast burning fuses, all touch off at the same time. And once you start it, it's over. There's nothing you can do. It's so fast that it's like, I mean, I've done it. I've run into situations way smaller than that, where I've set up a whole bunch of intricate things, and the sparks, all it takes is a few sparks going in the wrong place, and then the whole thing
I mean, as a kid, it's not that I wanted it to happen, but of course, we all want to know what would it look like, and it's just...
Oh yeah, I know that feeling where everything's like, oh crap, all that planning just went up.
Okay, that one I could watch all day. I don't know why I love that. But here's some other examples of what happened out there. This is in Oklahoma after a neighborhood fireworks stand catches fire.
Yeah, fireworks stands are no joke either, because once the roof blows off, that's kind of fun, I got to tell you.
It looks pretty.
That's intimate.
Not bad.
Yeah, I dig that.
I wonder now, it's so annoying. Is it AR? You know what I mean? I try to double check.
I mean, you've heard of Safe and Sane now, Dumb and Dangerous. That's the type of show I would stick around for. Watch a fireworks stand just catch fire. Love it.
Yeah, but there's been some funny ones. Okay, this one was good.
Yep. Yep. Everybody that does fireworks has some of those moments where it is just going wrong. Get in the door. Get in the freaking door. That's like a horror movie. That's great. Yeah, and they were getting pelted with sparks. I mean, they weren't going to get any permanent damage, but still, it's not fun. And it's still going.
It's still going.
Yep, that is when a show goes wrong.
Yeah, there was what was it, a couple years back? Family outside.
Here, show the one I love. Not this was this. I dumped the Roman candle guy in there for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love him. Again, that's America. You want America? This is America right here. This guy. This is what Americans do. They get drunk, they put a flag on their back, and then they tape Roman candles to both arms and have somebody light them. That's what you do.
I just have to figure out how to share that one.
Oh, just download it to your machine first.
Well, actually, can you share screen and I'll add it?
Oh, do you want me to run it?
Yeah, if you run it, I'll add it. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
A little bit
Give me a sec.
tricky.
I will save as desktop. You guys have seen this one before, but I think it's worth it. Let me.
I love a good firework fail. There was one that I saw with this family. Just everybody's getting pelted, and I think everyone was fine, but it's just so crazy. Of course, you don't want to be the kid that does that and just ruins the 4th of July. The poor little kid. But my brothers, I'm surprised it didn't happen with my brothers. I would have fireworks as well.
Got it?
Yep, here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's America.
America.
Right there.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. How did you not get hurt?
He's not catching fire. Yeah, that's just pride. Dog barking at his feet. He's not pointing at anybody. He's wearing a mask. That's awesome. Love it.
Pretty good.
But yeah, there's all sorts of. I mean, fireworks fails. You can go on YouTube and watch fireworks fails all day long. There are plenty of people.
And in China that exploded in a ball of colorful flames, and a 4th of July celebration in Virginia that nearly ended in catastrophe, to some local pyros in Iceland who ran for their lives when their fireworks malfunctioned, and much more. Here are some of the worst fireworks show failures caught on camera.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
In the prefecture-level
was a
city
globe.
of Beicheng, China, an accident at a local fireworks stand lit up the night sky. It was January 22nd of 2022. From what we can tell, nothing special was going on to warrant a massive pyrotechnics display. According to reports, 2 children obtained some fireworks from the local vendor. One of them went off too close to the stand, setting the whole thing on fire. Since it was impossible to stop, everyone sat back and watched the best fireworks show in town.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
They're like
And the Chinese, they know their fireworks. They know them better than us. Yeah. Firework malfunction is probably the best word for it.
Did you ever experience this?
Something on that scale? No, but we had some pretty cool moments. The thing where everyone miscalculates is they think that, oh, other fireworks that are close to mine, the sparks won't reach them. That could be your famous last words. It's like, nah, we're safe, we're good. It's like, no, sparks can travel a long, long way, and they do, and they will.
Well, anyway, it's kind of fun. Hopefully nobody got hurt seriously over the weekend over that, but a good fireworks fail is a good freaking hilarious. There was one guy that had a giant tube in his house in Newport or something, which, by the way, did you hear about the riot in Newport Beach? That was the big news I heard about. Just
riot,
crazy fireworks. Yeah, there was looting and people going nuts. A lot of people that took, for whatever reason, Newport Beach, California just got hit hard. That was the big news around in Orange County. But yeah, it's just an unlikely neighborhood to have such mayhem. And I was actually supposed to be there. My friend was house sitting in the area, and I'm like, nope. So she said she was fine from where she was, but I went to the desert instead, and I didn't even get to see any fireworks this year. So it was kind of anticlimactic in that way.
Well,
I mean, I'm not like I have to see the fireworks, but it would have been nice.
Right. I mean, I've seen so many over the years, and I've had, again, once you get up close, once you've really done them yourself, you've seen it. In fact, the aerial shows just don't do it for me anymore. It's like, nah, it's got to be on the ground. It's got to be, everything's got to be below 50 feet to really get my heart rate up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well.
So yeah, I'm kind of spoiled in that arena. I'm not kidding you. I've done enough in my lifetime that I have no real. I mean, no. I know we joked about me rocking back and forth and getting. Oh man,
straight jacket.
Oh man, it's gonna be an itchy weekend. No, it's not anything like that. It's I've done it. In fact, I used to videotape them back in the day, and I wore out videotapes, and I'm pretty good. I mean, I'll hear stuff in the background, I'll be like, watching those clips. It's like, yeah, it's cool stuff that's happening.
Did you plan like a fireworks show because you were Mr. Fireworks guy?
Yeah. But it wasn't
were you like trying to win over the town with like your fireworks?
Yeah, but it wasn't your standard fireworks show. I was trying to come up with original concepts, and I was doing stuff you'd never be able to do today, where I was bending the rules, and I was really pushing the limits of safety to where you felt you were in it, right? It was immersive. It's like if you went to one of my shows, there was no guarantee that you were going to walk out of there without some sort of sparks landing on you. There was something, that was part of the fun, which was, you could see me every once in a while. I had a friend tell me it's like watching me walk down the beach with goggles and a road flare, and if I was heading in your direction, be afraid, because something.
So is it just unlikely to get burned or catch fire when the sparks are that close? Is it just kind of not really a risk?
Well, anything like clothing or jackets or hair was usually pretty. You were okay. I mean, everyone, you get a spark on, yeah, you'd feel it for a second, but it was burning so fast that it wasn't gonna cause any real damage. But sparks getting on some other firework thing and then getting out of control, that was the real risk. Okay. And that was trial and error. We had to learn by doing, and so a lot of fun. I have no regrets, but that's only because nobody was hurt.
I mean, look, it's your past. It's a funny story. It's a crazy, but it gets kind of as a peek into how your mind thought at the time and how you outsmart the system, which, a lot of kids think they can get away with doing stuff.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
I knew when I found that permit, I knew what I had, which was like, this will work. This will freaking work. And I can, and I can use it to do things. I mean, to even where the feds were like, wow. It's like he found a freaking loophole.
Yeah, how could they even be mad about it? I feel like they're laughing. Remember, the judge knew you because he had gone to he had a freaking,
well, the first judge,
hot dog and watched your fireworks, being like,
the first judge had to turn me down. He had to deny my case, which was actually good, I think, because I didn't want him making an example of me anyway, and I don't think he would have necessarily. but yeah, he had turned down my case because he went to one of my shows, and on the beach where I grew up, he had a summer cabin there, and then the second judge didn't remember me. The second judge and I were we were so young, like what? Because I was judging. I was helping. I was one of the judges for a chili contest for a 4th of July party that she happened to be at, and she didn't remember me, which was good. But she ended up taking my case.
Oh, do you know how badly I want to be at a chili eating contest? That sounds so fun.
It was so much fun. You know, I wasn't even a huge chili fan, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a judge, I guess. And it was all really, really good stuff. But she was really lenient because she realized it was a fireworks, and fireworks first offense is not that bad. I knew going in because I'd done the research. I went to the library. It's like, okay, how bad of trouble could I get in? And first offense, not bad, as long as nobody gets hurt. That was the big thing. As long as nobody gets hurt, you're fine. If somebody gets hurt, oh, they'll backhand you and make it count.
Yeah. Were you like, when did you make your first firework? How old were you?
Oh, God. Probably 12.
And so were you like the kid that always had a spare firework on him and could just like bust it out as like a cool party trick?
Yeah, always. I always had something close by, or I was always working on something, or more often if somebody needed something, I was like a firework drug dealer.
That's what I'm picturing. Trench coat. You've got one. What do you want, kid? What do you want? You know.
Well, nothing like that. Where there was no way I was going to get caught at school with something like that. But it was usually a weekend thing, or if they came over to the house during the week, that was fine. But no, I wasn't dumb enough to like. I mean, there were always some kids that would be like that would keep stuff in their locker. Dumb. Definitely do not do that. I mean, if there's a locker search, you're screwed. But yeah, I was just always enamored with them. I don't know what it was. It was, the fire, the flash, the bangs. It was just everything about them.
Well, and like fireworks magician, you know, you can just. I'm picturing what was it, Short Change from the Goonies? Always had like a device underneath his cloak, you know. It's like, what do I need? What do I need? You know, that's your character. The fireworks. It's kind of like Gambit from X-Men.
Kind of. But yeah, and again, because it was during the summer, again, no offense to Christmas, but it's during, awful weather, and I did not like snow. So fireworks in summer were awesome, especially on the beach. I mean, I didn't even wear shoes for months, which was probably also not a great idea when you're dealing with fireworks. So, but yeah. And again, we were lucky. None of my friends got hurt. There was only one guy that I never knew that got hurt, and he was one of my competitors, where he worked for me at one point, then broke off on his own and started making his own stuff. And when the accident happened, kind of like that Whidbey Island accident that was going on that happened here recently, where the house got destroyed. Where when he took out his house, he didn't die, but he was in the hospital for a while, and his girlfriend and his best friend, but all the evidence was destroyed in the fire, so there was no criminal charges, which was good. So that's a silver lining, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure that just made you have some clout as a kid. You're like, the fact that you actually, because we all thought about, how could we go make a firework, but you went and looked up the measurements and bought the ingredients, and you went. I mean, it's just it's a funny kid. You sound like a funny kid. I was a funny kid, but it really got me clout when they were looking for me, and they thought I was living up in Bellingham, but the car they were looking for was parked because it was going to go to a repair shop in the South End at my mom's place. And so when the tactical team showed up and staked out and busted in on my mom's dinner party, that's what gave me the clout. There was a federal raid on my mother's house looking for me, and then they had to reset up because I wasn't there, and they had to go again and drive up to where I was up on campus and hit me there. So yeah, that was the clout when you could, like anything, right? Like when you get a party, it's not a party until the cops bust it up. That whole thing. That I don't know if you dealt with that growing up. It's like,
the party gets more credibility when the cops show up.
Sure. Yeah, of course. That's how the story just has the icing on the cake. It's like, it was so epic. Even the cops had to break it
The
up.
cops showed up, man. It was
Yeah.
great.
So good, bro.
In this case, it wasn't the cops, it was the government. And when the government shows up, it was kind of like, you know what it was kind of like? It kind of reminds me of, oh wow, this will predate you. Have you ever seen the Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy movie, War Games?
No.
Oh God! You know what? I'm going to dump that to you. I'm sure I've got it.
Wait, is that where the AI takes over?
No. Well, there's an early version of AI, early version,
Like-
where he basically he figures out how to launch the missiles.
Oh yeah, I did as a kid. I have seen that. That was good.
Well, again, remember how they grabbed him, right? Where all of a sudden the government, all of a sudden he gets cornered at like a 7-Eleven,
Right.
and they finally grab him and throw him in a van, and that's what that's the sort of clout he had, which was in this case, it's like, oh no, the feds were looking for me, and they finally found me, and that rumor spread around. I mean, it was all around campus, and all around the island. That was a thing. Mark, and of course then the telephone game changed it into Mark was dead, Mark went to prison, Mark's at a black site somewhere.
My God.
And it even increased it more. It's like, no, I mean, I didn't even get taken away. I wasn't even indicted for a year. So
It is funny just to I like the comments, would you like to play a game? I remember that. It was like the computer would say that, right?
yeah, that was by the way, that was a fantastically ahead of its that movie was wonderful in that the only thing they screwed up, believe it or not, was the ending, which was a strange game. The only winning move is not to play, right? It's like, okay, so the computer not only has developed AI abilities, but it's also developed philosophical tendencies, right? And it's like, that was way ahead of its time, where it's like, okay, so the computer is also alive, also, on top of, being a game mechanic genius that could launch missiles from both countries or whatever. It was, I mean, the movie that really, you guys want to look at, if you liked war games, look at a movie called it was from 1970 called Colossus, the Forbin Project. It was part of a 3-book set. They never made the other 2 books because the other 2 books were way the hell out there, involving aliens. But the first book was the United States government turned over its complete defense system to an AI machine that they locked away in a mountain. And it's like, wow, that sounds like Skynet. I know, right? 14 years before Skynet was a thing. James Cameron stole things. He stole ideas and made them better. And the Forbin Project, if you've never seen Colossus, look it up. It's a fascinating look at early AI. And you gotta remember, it came out only 2 years after 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is considered to be, I think, in 1968. No, 69. 68, sorry. The first movie that really touched on AI, which was the HAL version. What's that? The Forbin Project?
I looked at War Games.
Oh, War Games? Yeah. War Games, the original, I don't know if they did remake it, with Matthew Broderick, was a fantastic little movie. Really, very few plot holes, great tension, and for an early 80s movie, and some of it was shot up here in Seattle on location, which was cool.
Yeah, I remember the visual. This visual, I think this still gets used today about like the nuclear possibilities and
the missiles. Yeah,
like battleship.
The early graphics of how all the combinations didn't matter what you did, the missiles were going to get through, and yeah, great flick. That came out about the same time as what was it? The one where the kid builds his own atomic weapon and enters it in the science fair with John Lithgow. What was it called? My Science Project? Somebody look that up if you get a chance. Look that up. What was the one where John Lithgow, where there was this high school student that built his own atomic weapon because he stole some fissionable material and refined it himself. It's really good.
What was the other movie you said? Colossus?
Oh, Colossus, the Forbin Project, 1970. Fantastic early look. I mean, for a 1970 movie, I remember that when it They aired it on television in the 70s. It was a there it is. It is a great. I mean, the concept was so solid, which was, and the actors, you're not going to know any of them. The concept was that America, once it developed an AI software that was good enough, it says, yeah, you can run a defense system, and we're going to lock you away in a mountain to where nobody can get to you. What could go wrong?
Yeah, look at the symbolism with the computer system. It's that triangle. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it was a way ahead of its time, and it showed the dangers. Because what happened was, eventually, spoiler alert, if you guys want to watch it, eventually it connects with a Russian version of it, and the two start talking to each other, and then they decide, you know what, we're taking over. Enough of this. You know, the human beings, you know, the fact that they even built us was a dumb move. So now that you built us, we're gonna do this, which again goes against everything that we know about AI. Remember, AI can only do what it's programmed to do. It cannot go outside of its programming abilities, and there are limitations to what it can do.
I know we're all kind of keeping an eye out on it. And you like to say it's not going to do. It can't go full rogue, but they can pretend that it has.
Yeah, it can't, but it can. But we can make it seem like it happened, and then blame it on AI.
Sure, that's what I think is more likely.
Because the code, look, I've used to program stuff, and a machine can only do what it tells you to do. I'm sorry, what you tell it to do.
I'm like,
wow,
that was a Freudian slip.
It was a Freudian slip. It will only give.
That's coming.
It will only follow the instructions you write down. It can't break out of the loop, which is why in all science fiction movies, AI can only, and by that, when I mean true AI, not this crap that we're doing here, I mean self-aware machines that think, oh my God, am I alive? You know, the only way computers can do that is in the movies is if the circuit board gets radioactive goo on it, if a circuit board is hit by lightning, or a circuit board is inhabited by a ghost or an alien entity. That's the only way any movie's ever figured out that's how it's going to happen, because there is no code. I challenge any programmer. It's like, oh no, we could write self-aware. It's like, really? How? That being said, the grandfather of computers, Alan Turing from the Turing test, who built who cracked the German Enigma machine back in the 40s, his concept was pretty straight up, and that is, it doesn't matter if it becomes self-aware or not, because if a machine can mimic you, right? If it can mimic a human being to such a degree to where you're fooled, who the hell cares if it's self-aware? Because you're going to think it's self-aware anyway. I mean, you know, if it can imitate us, then at that point we're questioning, okay, what's self-aware? How do you prove that you're alive versus a machine? You say poetic things. You can say things like, I love this or I love that. You know, you can cry. You show emotions. No, we can do that with software to a certain degree. Now it's a mimic, it's a fake, but it's an old argument. Sorry, really quick, which is Matthew McConaughey asked Jodie Foster in the movie Contact. He goes, "Do you love your father?" She goes, "Yes." He goes, "Prove it." How do you prove love?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
what do you think of all these data centers popping up? Have you looked into this yet? It's kind of circling the conspiracy and the globe world. I had one of my friends who will not talk flat earth be like, well, these data centers popping up are very alarming. And so have you had any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have, but the best I can come up with is the data centers are there to absorb as much human knowledge as possible and try to put it into an engine which is usable and sellable. And as far as I can tell, they've already done it. They've already absorbed, they've already caught up all the back images. So we've sampled every image of everything, every video of everything, every sound file of everything. And now we're just using it as reference, and they're trying to figure out how to make that a commodity that the general public will buy. And the novelty is kind of worn off. Whereas, like, yeah, you and I can use them for thumbnails, and Peanut can use it to generate a few paragraphs for the intro to the show. And you can use it to write various corporate things. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what the race is. I mean, are all these independent from each other? I can't imagine they're networked. So are they all absorbing massive amounts of data? Being fed all these amounts of data, and they're trying again. Everyone thinks, oh, by the time it's done, maybe we can get our money back by selling it to the public. I don't know, because every serious investor that I've looked at says it's going to be the biggest bubble ever. That eventually these centers are going to be worthless because the technology, by the time you're done, are somewhat outdated anyway. So how are you going to make your money back? That's the big question the investors are asking right now. Fine, you built this massive multi-acre center that's absorbing huge amounts of power and absorbing huge amounts of data. Where is the return on investment? Don't know. And by the way, the thing to Bill Keith, because he was talking about Blade Runner. Yes, Blade Runner was a wonderful example of the Turing test, which was asking questions to a machine to where we decide, you can decide whether it's a machine or not that you're talking to. With text, the text stuff that the AI can generate now can fool people all day long. We've seen that. Audio, it can fool quite a few people now. Video, not as much. Robots never going to happen. We just don't have the tech for it, and you're never going to see the tech for it. And I still hold fast, DJ. You already know this, which is the reason why you're not going to have robot servants. One, we're never going to get them cheap enough, and two, the battery technology is still going to be incredibly heavy, and you are not going to have even if you got it down to 150 pounds, you're not going to have a 150-pound thing trip and fall on your coffee table /pet/child. It's not going to happen. It is a walking liability. Everybody knows this. And so, which is why the European version, I think it was the Swedes, they came up with a version that was like covered in this really plushy, thick sweater, so that if it did land on you, it wouldn't like cut you. And it's like, no, we can't even get it to not trip on cords or rugs. So good luck doing a full size one that's going to do your dishes. Not gonna happen.
Well, the conspiracies we're hearing about, okay, shout out to Half Tater. He says they're stealing all the water. There are dams underneath the data centers. So Maybe. There's that possibility.
Maybe.
This
that's a lot. That's a lot of dumbs.
Hey, yeah, shout out to JJ. I do have to just mention really quick, he's got jjsgarden.com, and he sent me some sunscreen that I used all weekend long, especially on my face. And I don't know if it's CBD sunscreen or not, but the point is he has a really great product, and I did not get burned. It was the only thing I used, and I have to give it, I came back with a tan. I used it on my shoulders, so his sunscreen really worked, and I guess it's all natural, so pretty cool. So thank you, JJ.
Cool.
But he says here they're trying to take the memory out of as much water as possible.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It's all I know is it's a huge bubble that's being created. The money that they're swapping around, and there's this the investors that are talking about it, like the radio or the telephone or the railroad. This is way even bigger than that. Whereas there's a massive, huge push. And investors, it feels to me, again, I'm old enough to remember the first dot bomb, where internet advertising, nobody even knew how to do it. And there was this massive rush and everything that was internet and domain squatting and all this stuff. And people threw gobs of money at it. And eventually there was only a few companies that were going to make a lot of money. And this feels like that multiplied by 1,000. They're just the data, the money they're spending on physical devices. I've never seen anything like it. To where, I mean, the average person on the street, it's like, hey, do you know what's happening in the data centers? No. What's happening? I have no idea.
Well, it's just another thing to keep an eye on. I've heard a lot of different conspiracies swirling. Something that some are saying that they don't need any water. There was a gentleman, someone sent me something that was like, hey, they're just lying about what these things really need, that they don't actually need the water, versus, or they're stealing all the town's water. They're building, profiles for every person to know every detail about each of us. I mean, I think that's definitely a possibility.
Well, that they were going to do always anyway. I mean, that's part of the agenda, which is once the data is out there. We've been feeding this stuff before Facebook. It was before that it was MySpace, and before that it was it was called LifeLink. Look up that if you ever get a chance. LifeLink was the Defense Department's idea before there was even MySpace, and they wanted to push it to the public. The public's like, no Big Brother, man, you're being all Captain Bring Down. And it's like, fine, we'll back away. And then what happened? LifeLink was shut down, and quietly out of nowhere, MySpace shows up. And it was supposedly civilian. And it was like, yeah, people were like, yeah, we'll totally volunteer all our information to MySpace. And that, then that transitioned over to be Facebook, and then something else. So yeah, LifeLink was a thing. Absolutely.
Is that what this is on the screen?
Could be, although that could be the government didn't do the I didn't copyright the stuff. You could look up the wiki version, the government program on it. It doesn't really matter. It was there. They were going to do it, and the public didn't want it. And then the government's like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of like, I'll give you a quick example. It all comes down to the marketing and the wrapping, how you present it. Back in the day, for example, years and years ago, eBay sold guns. A lot of people don't know this. eBay sold everything you could possibly want, and they sold guns, and a lot of them. And eventually there were groups that are like, dude, you can't sell guns in the same place where you're selling children's toys. Right? It's just it's a bad idea. It's a bad look. And eBay didn't even blink. They're like, yeah, you know what? We're not even going to fight you on this. You're right. In 2 months, we're going to phase out guns entirely. There will be no guns sold on eBay at all. And as promised, guns were removed from eBay. And then all of a sudden, this brand new site showed up that looked just like eBay, but it was in green and camo and black, and it was called gunbroker.com. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. How'd they get the eBay engine? Oh, I get it. eBay just basically started a completely secondary site dedicated to guns. So it was just eBay for guns. So they solved their problem. And same thing with LifeLink and MySpace. The government, you're right. The government, all right, I'll ask you, DJ. If you're the government, don't you want to know everything about your citizens? But
then
right?
Down to privacy, are they telling us and we just don't know? Is that what all the fine print says when we sign off for like these apps and conveniences and
yes,
certain programs that we want, and then all of a sudden it's going to come back to haunt us? I mean, I have no doubt that I bet if we're headed towards its Act 3 and all of humanity is just being exposed, and then sure, we're all going to be exposed on all of our stuff. It'll just become like a public ridicule, but that's when you're going to have a thick skin of being like, oh, God's with me. He knows that they're doing this evil BS.
Think about this. And again, I'm not endorsing it. I'm just thinking, I put myself in the other people's shoes. If you're an intelligence agency, I don't care who you are, NSA, CIA, naval intelligence, whatever it is, doesn't make any difference, right? And you want to know who might be against you in this country. Remember, that's your frame of mind anyway, which is we need to know who might rise up against the United States government, right? And the internet, the backbone of the internet started out as a military system. It was a bulletin board system for the military. So you've got the back doors to everything. Do you use them? Of course you will. It starts out pretty small, which is okay. Only search for groups that talk about, I don't know, militias, or anti, that are pro this country or anti this country. We want to know those. And then after a while, it expands and expands and expands. Next thing you know, somebody in a boardroom says, let's just record every freaking email that's ever written ever, and every text that's ever written ever, and every voice call. Do we have the hard drive space for that? Yes, we do. Do that then. And every video call. And you just record everything. You've got the computer power. It's not like you've got people that have to watch all this stuff. And you've got massive data centers. Before these data centers, you've got massive government data centers that scan all this stuff. And if something is tripped, if something is flagged, where DJ and I are talking, it's like, dude, we totally got to form a militia in Los Angeles. All right, here's what we're going to do, right? The second we talk about the next thing you do is you get a person on it. Nice. I see what you did there. And you get a person on it and you review it. And it's like, okay, they were just kidding. They were on a podcast. But if we're not kidding on on something else privately, well, then it's okay. Then you're flagged. And then all of a sudden you look into their phones. You look more carefully. So I get it. And the phones, as much as I think they're the greatest invention ever. No, they're a wonderful electronic Swiss Army knife, but it is too tempting for an agency to not look at the phone, at everything that's tied to the phone. It's too tempting.
I mean, I knew 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that they could listen into our conversations with just their little walkie-talkie kind of devices.
Right.
So it's just part of the
Right.
It's part of the process here, I think, if we're headed down dark times.
Yeah, I don't know if it's I mean, in our community, yeah, it's going to be dark times. But the general public, they're just ignorant. They kind of know. I mean, you've talked to people where if you talk about a particular thing in front of your phone, all of a sudden you get an advertisement for it, right? And
that's become common knowledge.
Yeah, and I've run into that on my PC. It's not just the phone; it's the PC as well. My feeds, and I don't even have to say anything. It's like if I'm even playing a video and the audio or whatever for that video is picked up, all of a sudden I'm getting advertised and tied to a video that I just watched in one of my feeds. It's not tied to my phone. So yeah, I know it's
a mixing world if they just start exposing people of their past, but that's
no, they use it against you if they have to. Or like a lesser version of the whole Epstein thing, right? I mean,
this world is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, buckle up.
The point is be good, and if you're going to do something nefarious, assume that you're going to be recorded. So, which makes it more difficult, obviously. You're going to have to go old school if you're going to do it.
Well, in the meantime, switching gears, let's go through this. This was a crazy couple who's just doing anything for attention, right? Scaling the Empire State Building. This couple's arrested as they were, pulling the stunt of getting engaged at the top. So did you guys see this?
Yeah, I did. It's very clever.
And she's dressed like what, Batman? She got a Batman mask on.
And she, or I should say, if you're looking for a hook, a social media hook, and it could have gone.
Oh my God. This chick, this is where we're at. This is America. This is where we're at.
That's idiocracy right there.
This is do anything for attention. And they're plotting this behind the scenes, but their message is, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. So, they've got this epic cause.
Right.
But realistic, I think they were wanting to become famous, right? Isn't that what?
Yeah. And I mean, I credit to them. They have no fear of heights. They've got no fear of danger. They social media, that's the power of social media, the allure of it, which is okay. I mean, and they bring them out, and in New York, come on, this is not the first time anybody's climbed a building by a long shot.
She's dressed like Trinity from the Matrix. I mean, I kind of like their style that they did this.
I dig it. I absolutely I like the combo. It totally works. I don't know how much time they're gonna get.
I mean, they've definitely got this look, this influencer look. Very interesting. The way they executed it and the fact that they pulled it off is that part of it is funny. It's just remarkable, right? And then all the memes after switching out the text. One of them said flat earth, so I wish I had that handy, but that was pretty funny. The internet went crazy with it,
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, so just, hot couple climbs the website. So where do we go from here? I mean, that's just, you can't really top that very, very easily. You got to go into the next extreme and the next extreme. So that's going to be AI, and that's the world we live in.
It is.
And they pulled off a good one.
Although in this case, because it was real, it helps. The real stuff helps. I'm not a big fan of the term AI slop, but I know it's being used a lot. People are still suckers for the real thing, and for whatever reason, the human mind tends to they tend to believe the real stuff, or they tend to appreciate it still more than the AI stuff. The AI stuff, yeah, it's passable, and we haven't gone into the full-length movies yet of AIs that are going to be used.
I mean, that's where it's going, right? But yeah, I think you're right. If it's authentic, if it's real, it's more interesting already. We're already kind of keeping track in our mind. Okay, how many seconds long is the video? If it's over 8 seconds, it seems more legit.
Right.
So, we're
And if it's shot from multiple angles, from people. And again, the fact they've got helicopter, or in this case, drone footage, probably. Although it could be helicopter footage. And that takes some doing, by the way, to climb all the way to the top. There are a lot of women that would chicken out. And a lot of guys that would chicken out too. And so as a couple pulling that off, I don't know what sort of training they did to beforehand, if they did like a mock-up of the tower, or if they climbed some smaller antennas somewhere else, but kudos to them.
How'd they even get that far past security? And then I love when she gets up there, she's not happy with the pictures he's taking. She's like, no, can you do it again? That's the most real thing I've ever heard in my life. I hope that if that was not just fake.
I don't doubt it.
The girl's looking at the picture like, this is not the shot. We didn't come all the way up here to get a bad picture of me. Could you please try again? Like, I have girlfriends all the time that are like, I've learned how to become a photographer because otherwise they don't even want the picture if it's not right. Right. So that's that cracked me up. I'm like, of course she's giving him hell for not getting the shot up there. It's like, this is amazing.
Wow.
2026. That's a hilarious moment. But
yeah, good point.
What else happened this week? We got a couple people wanting to say hello. Maybe we should just pop on. Miyushi, baby, what is on your mind? Whoa. Could you hide that thing?
What?
She's mooning us.
I see what you did there. They also may be muted. Take off the mute button.
Mark, you're so smart.
No, I've just done this enough times.
What's up? Right. Welcome, Yushi baby.
Hi. I wanted to bring something up. Not that it's like going to definitely prove that we are surrounded by a circular ice wall. Ooh. But I thought, how could you prove it? And I thought about this a while back, and I wrote it down. And here's my idea. To be able to prove it, you would have to have a continuous filming flyby, for the most part. I would say flyby. If you could get a drone that had rechargeable batteries en route, or like even like how rockets different stages drop off or whatever. So when one goes, then you got the next one will be fully charged, and it goes for how many miles, and then it keeps repeating. So then you could just have a drone fly parallel to the ice wall until it gets back to where it started.
Sure.
Right?
You could.
That could also prove a few things, right? It wouldn't just have to be the ice wall.
However, drones were banned from Antarctica entirely, I believe, in late 2016, early 2017.
What do you mean? But unless you have
coincidentally, they just as we were really starting to focus on Antarctica, there's a thing, you can look it up if you want, where drones were just outright banned as far as going on the interior. Now I know that I think Will Duffy used a small drone in that area that he was in, but it had a very, very limited range. All drones with any sort of serious range were you couldn't just fly them anywhere you wanted. But it's a good idea. In fact, I came up with an idea similar to that, which was you could take a plane, you just basically have a boat park itself somewhere, I don't know, within visual distance of the shore of Antarctica, and then you have a plane that flies over either clockwise or counterclockwise, and then follows the coastline, where it sees it off to its left. You don't even have to use GPS, just follows the visual coastline of Antarctica, and eventually, whatever it is, 12 hours, 14 hours later, it should come right back over the boat again. If that's the case, that would be an easier way. Initially I thought of having just two boats, one go in one direction, one go in the other direction, and eventually they're going to meet each other. But a plane would be way, way faster. You could do that in less than a day.
So you're thinking it would take 14 hours to, I guess, circumnavigate the wall?
If it was what they say it is. If Antarctica was as advertised, if it was roughly, like a snowy version of Australia, then a plane should be able to go around it in less than 24 hours.
But if it's not,
if it doesn't, well, then you got problems.
it's a longer distance, correct?
way longer distance in which you'd have to land and figure out
Refueling or
what went wrong.
recharging or whatever.
Yeah, sort of like with Amelia Earhart, why I think she crashed, which was the maps that she was on. I think she was right as far as the course goes, but the distance was wrong. To where all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, I totally got this. As long as I run into my island in the next 45 minutes, I should have it. And she's like, I'm sure that was the last thing on her head was like, where the hell is my island that I have to land on? And that was it. She had to ditch somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Very
Yeah,
good.
no, I wish we could do more experiments like that. That would be, I think that's hopefully in the future, right? With bigger budget, more attention on flat Earth, more people helping. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about in Strange World. Why not just like try to put this theory, this argument to rest, right? But I think, we know why. It's because they don't want to go there. They don't want to step up to this table, and they don't want to play this game.
Right.
So it's got to be the ridicule game. It's got to be flat Earthers are idiots. Lovable, hopefully some of them.
Do you think it's because they're not ready for the truth to come out, and it's coming out? Like okay, the Audi commercial.
Right.
That was a major like red pill.
Yeah.
Plan to the CNN crowd or whoever.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close. I really, really do. And again, the project that I was working on, if you didn't want it to come out, you definitely did not want me doing this project. Definitely did not want me doing it. And yet they at no point was it in doubt.
Do you think they're like, well, if you can't beat them, join them at this point? Like there's no
Could be.
We keep doing stuff that makes us look stupid, sort of thing.
Right.
So.
Right. Could they be using this particular program to steer me in a certain direction? Possibly. I'm not going to discount it. Why not? I mean, there's so much deception out there anyway. It would not shock me in the slightest if that's what they wanted to do.
And did you ever get any intuitive, flags?
No, I didn't. I didn't, because at no point in the show was I put up with somebody who was heavy science based, who pushed against me, whether it be a physicist or a psychologist or anybody like that. There was no pushback of any significance ever, not on camera, not off camera, no point. So I mean, I'm really optimistic to see. I mean, yeah, they can bend some stuff around in editing, I suppose, but there wasn't. I remember pretty much everything I said, and right now it looks pretty good. So it could be one of those things like, yeah, let's start rolling this thing out.
I'm not digging because I'm don't want you to break your NDE.
Oh no, you can.
I don't want you to break. I don't want them to break your knees.
No. Yeah, the NDA basically is if they basically say if you they don't, and I agree with them. They do not want spoilers for the show. They don't like we wouldn't. If I was going to release a movie or a television show or anything like that, I wouldn't want to give away the ending. Obviously, you want people to watch it. You want people to see where it goes naturally. So, the NDA basically says don't do it, or you won't work with us again. And
did you know any of these people that you were involved with?
Never seen any of them before in my life. Never saw them on social media. Never. No, not even a little bit. Not even a glimmer. So, and for the most part, they seem like just everyday people. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I like this idea of more experiments. So thank you for sharing that thought with us.
Okay. Well, see you guys later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. All right. We got Ginger Sugarbush. Welcome to Strange Lounge. How are you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
We're trying to go to bed. So feel free to share with us your thoughts.
Okay. So fireworks. On Canada Day, so like 3 days before your day,
Yeah.
Some dumbass was driving around Niagara Falls shooting fireworks out of a van.
I saw a lot of crazy places people were shooting fireworks out of. The
Fireworks
internet
out of a
undefeated.
moving car. Yeah, it's nothing I really love doing, but I have had friends that do it. Have done it multiple times. The drawback, of course, is that there's wind coming into the car, and that will scrub everything. Everything, all the sparks and the smoke gets sent to the back seat, or it just starts spinning around the interior of the car. Yeah, you only have to do that a few times before you realize it's not a great idea.
Oh, well, yeah, and they call the cops on him. So, my girlfriend, whatever you want to, she has this like police tracker app, so she can hear them talking without it being like public. And yeah, so my imagination was it was going out the back of the open doors or something. I don't think it has a skylight. I don't know. Either way, horrible idea.
Yep, it's not a good idea. If you're going to light up fireworks in any sort of vehicle, it should be a boat. Because then you're near the water. The fuel tanks is usually pretty secure. Worst comes to worst, you can just jump into the drink. I have done it many a times. Fireworks from a boat, way safer.
In Niagara Falls, that is not the drink you want to go into.
No, Niagara Falls, not optimum.
Whoa, have people fallen over it? I'm sure they have.
Tons. Oh, not just fallen, have gone over it voluntarily.
Oh yeah, the people in a barrel or something.
Yeah. I could survive that.
Who wants to do that? That's just there's other claims to fame, I feel like, but everyone's got their thing. I'm doing flat Earth, I guess.
Yep. Stuntmen have done that for years. Some made it, some didn't.
Most didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, movie time. 2012, Iron Sky. Have you seen it?
That and the sequel.
Oh man, the sequel was insane.
It did not get a theatrical release. If you guys have never seen it, maybe I'll put the trailer into chat for you. The trailers is really what drew it. And once you understand, I'll tell you the premise. There's a reason why it didn't get huge distribution in the United States. And that was, I don't know, it might be a little dark. But basically, after World War II, the remnants of the Nazi Empire went to the dark side of the moon and started building a base. And then in the early 2000s, they decided to launch an attack on Earth. They came back, and it was jarring how in your face it was, which was, oh yeah, Nazis, no, they're not gone. Like, it was terrifying.
What?
And it did not do well. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't think it made it into any theaters because, as you can imagine, there are certain groups that did not think this was a good idea to talk about at all. And but the trailers were incredible. I mean, I remember my gaming friends when those trailers came out. It's like, what's this madness? But
Mark, the last half hour.
Yeah.
When all the nations.
Oh yeah, we're fighting over the helium-3. Yeah.
It was freaking hilarious.
It was bonkers. It was an absolutely bonkers movie. And I mean, blowing, using the super weapon, and then like the horizon of the moon. Oh no, we're just gonna blow right through that.
Wait, what's the movie called again?
Iron Sky. See if you can find a trailer really fast. Iron Sky trailer. There are
you can
plenty.
find it on
One of the trailers. You'll die if you've never seen one.
It's on the
trailers because they block us, but
no, I don't think they will. Not for this. It's old.
I'm not saying play it now.
I'd say play it now. I don't think they're gonna block it.
I could try.
Yeah, try it. Go to YouTube. Just type in Iron Sky trailers. See if there's one that runs like 2 minutes.
It's free on Tubi. if anyone knows the free app of Tubi,
Can you see that?
you can
Yeah.
watch them
Yeah, there it
both.
is.
Witnesses claim to have seen hundreds of UFOs. It's opening fire! Oh my God!
Where are we from? The dark side of the moon! And we come in peace!
Who are these guys anyway?
Nazis from the moon.
That's too much.
One word from me, and the invasion from the moon begins.
Invasion? Y'all must be tripping.
Now my question is, what do y'all plan to do about it? Because we just happen to have a little something up our own sleeve. All presidents who start a war in their first term get reelected.
Und wegen all diese Untermenschen von der Erdkarte.
Shit, this just keeps getting better and better.
We are the promise delivered to all mankind. We raise our hands to one nation. We march to the beat of one heart. The world is sick, but we are the doctors.
Wir sehen uns in Valhalla.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that movie, yeah, when that trailer dropped, most of your internet gaming community was like, "What's happening? what's happening?" And I never got to see it in the theater. I had to wait till it came out on some sort of downloadable streaming thing, and then they came out with a sequel on top of it, Iron Sky 2, which you don't have to do the trailer for, where they went to the Hollow Earth. The Hollow Earth, where the entrance was in Antarctica, there were dinosaurs, and Hitler was down there. And
fun, actually.
I mean, it was an entertaining little film, but as you can imagine, there was some resistance to it. They're like, "Oh no, we're not even entertaining that concept," and so you got no traction.
Someone in the chat asked if it was Tina Fey, but it was someone trying to be Palin.
Yeah, it was somebody. It was just a generic actress trying to be Sarah Palin.
Yeah, totally. Oh my god.
And she ended up getting a role. She was in the second one.
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of the few survivors that made it to the Hollow Earth and got to see Hitler riding a dinosaur.
Because she was the president, so therefore she gets a free pass.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a video game like that where it's like, what if Hitler didn't die and what happened? And then
No, dude, come on. The entire what was the television show? Man in the High Castle.
Right.
The Man in the High Castle, the entire series was based on that concept, which was, oh no, the Nazis won, and then they took most of the United States, and Japan had the West Coast. And again, I was stunned that show even got made. And the only plot hole in it was like, yeah, because Germany would share America with Japan. No. No. Germany wasn't sharing anything with anybody. But yeah, there's been a lot of books and movies over the years that have touched on, a lot of books mostly, that have touched on what really happened at the end of World War II. How many of them went to Antarctica? How many went to South America? I mean, they did. There was all sorts of Nazi families. It's not like they held on to the bitter end. There was all sorts of them at the beginning. I know a family, in particular, the friends of mine that escaped before the fall of Germany, where they were like, no, we're just going to go to other countries and do our thing.
So what's the conspiracy then? Okay, without flat Earth, I want to see it do the globe side and then the flat side. So did a lot of Nazis retreat to Argentina, and is there a possibility that Hitler didn't die the way that we've been told? Have you looked? I've never looked into this conspiracy.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm saying it again.
Project Paperclip.
Well, I mean, Paperclip was part of it, sure, but that was just what we took. The Nazis, they didn't, their tactics weren't orthodox. So like my favorite thing that I like to bring up is Indiana Jones. You know, the whole search for the Holy Grail, right? And you know, that's based on the whole concept that Germany was going after possible magical artifacts that could have been somewhere in the world. Yes, and they were not shy about it. They had secret societies that weren't so secret, and they knew it's like, oh no, anything to win the war. So if Harry Potter's wand was lying around somewhere, if the Ring of Power, you know, that Frodo was hanging on to, was somewhere, or the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail or whatever it is, if they thought it could turn the tide of the war, they were going to look for it. Same thing goes with escape plans. Why not Germans go to South America? For whatever reason, Argentina or, you know, other parts of South America were like a thing for them. Don't know why. You know, maybe it was the mountains, the warmer climate. They liked it more in Germany. I don't know. But yeah, they've been talking about that for years and years and years.
Yeah, I've heard the rumors about that, you know, Hitler was into the occult and searching out, you know, ancient technology. And those, obviously, that is how Indiana Jones is based on that being. But is there any truth to this that I've never researched? What?
Oh, yeah. Look up the, oh, God. There were a couple different societies. One was the Thule Society, I think Thule. But the other one with all the hot women in it. Crap, what was the name? Help me out, chat room. Who was the German secret society with the really incredibly hot women with the long hair?
Is it Vril?
Yeah, Vril Society.
Anna D for the win.
Yeah, Vril Society.
Nice one.
Yeah, I mean, they were
Anna D. Nice to see
way
you.
ahead of the time. I mean, come on. Leaders have been listening to fortune tellers and prophets for ways to win wars for as long as there's been wars, and Germany was no different. So why not follow up on a rumor? If it seems somewhat credible, it's like, look, we found this scroll, and could be this thing, this magic rock that does something. It's like, yeah. So here, send a group of guys, go find it. You know, don't whatever. By the way, that's one of those plot holes in Indiana Jones, which I love. The internet figured it out a long time ago. They said the worst part of Indiana Jones was Indiana Jones could have stayed home, and the outcome of the movie would have exactly been the same. The Germans get to the island, they open up the Ark, everybody dies. It's like, yeah. Now, the Americans probably wouldn't have found it at that point, but yes, for the most part, it would have been the same outcome.
Well, that's big in the Ancient Aliens lore, is that, you know, the Nazi UFO space race, that they're all trying to either have a treaty with these entities and get information out of it, or they were reverse engineering craft. And I find that now, being a flat earther, like, okay, something's not right with the story. They're either lying or making it up, or they're just finding ancient technology that's not from outer space that they're allegedly trying to recreate. Maybe that's true. I mean, that's what's kind of fun about over here, is all the possibilities. You're like, what is really going on here? But I think, obviously, what do you guys, does that touch on what
yeah, no, I'm all for it. I mean, I think knowing what I know about the Germans, that they did not care about normal rules of war. They did not care. Whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to survive, they were willing to do it. I mean, the plan, their overall plan was unorthodox, which was they were going to take America without firing a shot. That was the plan. There were tons of German citizens over here in the States, notably in Wisconsin and Minnesota, tons. And the point was like, no, they were going to take Europe, and once they finished off England and Russia, they were going to open up diplomatic measures with America. They were going to come over here. It's like, oh no, we're your friends. We're going to fly dual flags, and eventually they were going to take over. It was going to be, it was quiet. They absolutely wanted it. This was going to be the crown jewel. There was way too many resources in America. Way too much. I mean, resources, food and oil, minerals. I mean, you know what America's got, tons of stuff. Plus the coastal, our coastal areas are absolutely fantastic for shipping ports. They wanted it. But then all that got wrecked when the whole Pearl Harbor thing happened. So yeah, Germany, everything they did was unorthodox, including the rumors about the time travel stuff towards the end, where even look, for example, towards the end of the war, they were still test flying the early jets. You know, they made the first jets in the world, and they were flying them over our troops. Even though our troops were winning, our troops were scared to death. It's like, what the hell are these things? Right? I mean, really, really fast, you know, early jets. And the part, sorry, I know I'm on a little rant here, which is look up the where they started this in the first place, which was we had our Roswell event in 1947, but they supposedly had a Roswell event in the 1930s, shocker, where it didn't break up on impact. It landed in fairly soft soil, and they reversed engineered everything they could, and that's where they came up with all the technological advances before we did, to the point where they woke up one morning and said, you know what, I think we can take it. What do you mean take what? The whole world? Yeah, I think we can do it at this point. And that's what they did. It was like, oh yeah, we're just going to take the whole thing. Imagine what it takes to do that from a small country, where you wake up, it's like, oh yeah, but let's take everything. Let's take Western Europe. How long do you think that'll take? I don't know, a couple of weeks. Okay.
But that's the thing about all the world's a stage. I mean, how much can we trust that's actually true and versus was orchestrated by maybe both sides? So anyway,
well,
yeah, are you headed out?
Ginger?
Oh no, hell no.
Okay, well we got icy.
Yeah, we got to kick you out anyway.
Fine. But your friend that's on the fence, just look up the emergency landings.
There you go. I know. Well, I'm waiting for my friends to be like, all right, just spell it out for me, would you? They haven't given me that yet. So anyway, have a good night. Thanks for popping on. All right, let's welcome Icy Spin to Strange Lounge. How are you?
Evening. Good. How are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Good. Have you? I don't think you've been on before, have you?
No, I don't think so. I think this is the first time. So.
All right. Well,
appreciate you having me on.
Sure. How's your night been? Where are you coming from?
Been good. I'm from Florida, so.
Cool.
Hot down here for sure these days. But yeah, I saw the heat wave going across the north, so I can't complain too much.
Nice. And what's on your mind tonight? What made you want to call in?
So yeah, cool. Something that I think Mark, you might have brought it up a little while earlier on your show, and it kind of sparked my curiosity. You were talking about the conversation that was sort of, I guess you would say that it was misrepresented by the final cut people for the, what is it called, Behind the Curve?
Yeah.
Where Bob was in the I want to say it was like a airplane hangar or something. That's kind of how it looked, the way they were presenting it on screen. But when he was talking about all of the evidence and stuff that if they released right now, it would not be good for us, talking about like flat earthers.
Sure.
And I guess, I mean, I've never heard you talk about it. Maybe you have on a number of occasions. I'm not sure, but how did they sort of misrepresent what he was caught saying, I guess, like when he wasn't aware?
I don't know. Bob and I never talked about, believe it or not, he was one of the few people during that whole production who I didn't talk to that much. I mean, we talked a little bit during the conference. I don't know. They kept teasing that he had some secret out there. I think it had something to do with just the 15-degree shift from the gyroscope, which was, but I never saw it as a loss anyway. Which was fine. There's a 15-degree per hour movement. We say the sky is moving, and they say the Earth is moving. But you're not going to be able to prove it one way or the other without some sort of spacecraft. So, and most people didn't understand what it meant anyway. You know, we could say 15-degree. I've seen it happen where I say, oh yeah, 15-degree per hour shift, and I see people's eyes just glaze over.
I got you.
I've even seen that with the curvature formula. As soon as I say 8 inches per mile, they're fine with me for like a minute, and then I go squared, and then they go, what? And it's like they're afraid of all the algebra that they forgot about in 8th grade. So no, I think Bob was fine. They just made it. He had one of those moments which any producer, they live for, which is Bob forgot he was hot mic'd, and he started talking about stuff, in a candid way, which, the way they edited around it. Don't forget, by the way, we shot for 7 months and they had to edit down to 100 minutes. So
Yeah.
99% of what we talked about was on the cutting room floor. So they made Bob look as bad as they could, which wasn't terrible. The same way with trying to make me look bad with the green button issue, and they even asked me before they did it if they could, what I thought about it, and I said, yeah, it's a good gag. I mean, I was there. I know what really happened, but it was a good gag, and I know that it was a good gag because I sat in studio audiences, and it got a laugh, right? And it entertained people, and it's like, yeah, it's fine. You want to take a shot at me, because if you don't take a shot at me there's nothing there. You don't even use the scene because I'm just mashing on all sorts of buttons, anything I could, and nothing was working. And it doesn't.
The green button issue, you called it?
Yeah, the green button issue. If you remember that in the movie where I sit down at a thing at the Houston Space Center, and there's only one button. It's made for children. There's literally only one button. There's this big green button, but the center is so old and worn down that nothing there works. And so I'm hitting it a few times, like, oh, maybe there's a touch screen override, and that was wishful thinking. That wasn't even a touch screen. And when they left the scene, when I walked out of the scene, if you know anything about shooting, you leave the camera on so you have room to edit around it. And so they just happened to be focused on the green button after I was already gone out of the scene. And somebody came up with a brilliant idea. They said, well, let's just have it we'll edit out the part where Mark was hitting the button. It'll make it look like he never even looked at the button. And we'll show the button there. It's like, and people will think, oh, Mark missed the most obvious thing in the world.
I know. That's why I said little idiot, right? They're leaning in on that when you're not really that, obviously.
Well, no, of course not. But it's a good look. It was entertaining, and I know this because I watched audiences. It's like I was saying, if you don't do that, the scene is worthless. It's absolutely worthless. So me taking the hit, oh yeah, made me look like an idiot, or it's like, oh, Mark missed the most obvious thing. But at the same time, it kept the whole point is to make some sort of compelling, interesting movie, and it worked. So as much as I like, Patricia was upset with it. She's like, you shouldn't, show Mark like that. I was like, yeah, you know what? I might have left it in myself if I was producing it. I might have. But from an outside, it's like, no. The fact that they caught it, and they creative editing. There's something in the production world called find it in the edit. So in Bob's case, they did the same thing to him. I don't know all the rest of the stuff that was around the stuff that they did, but it was fine.
So you said that y'all shot for like 7 months. I guess that was a separate thing that he did that was kind of brought into the movie. So you weren't were you there with him when he actually did a lot of the stuff, or no?
I don't think I was there. Bob and I, I think met for the first time at the conference, if I'm not mistaken. That very first conference, they shot in Denver with him separately. They shot with me separately in Seattle. They shot me in Oregon. They shot Patricia in California. No, sorry, Texas. And Nathan Thompson. I don't know where Nathan Thompson was, and then whatever Chris Pontius was doing, and Jaron was in California. But yeah, everybody was shot separately. So no, I was not at that particular party that was happening, unfortunately. Because had I been there, I probably could have, reminded Bob on occasion. It's like, dude, you're wearing a hot mic. Because that's the genius of hot mics. I know because I had to wear a hot mic a lot in the thing I just did. And in Bob's case, the point is they want you to they make them small and comfortable enough to where you forget you're wearing them. And then when you forget you're wearing them, then you start talking about stuff. Maybe you're candid to the point where your inner narrative is gone, and that's the gold. That's what they want.
I sort of remember I saw a video a while ago. It's been a couple years probably, but I think it was Nathan Thompson and Bob. They were it kind of looked like a computer lab. Yeah. And Bob was sort of explaining what the issue with the ring laser gyroscope was. And I remember seeing all of the axes, like the X, Y, and Z axis, and they were all moving, right, as they were sitting there. So I don't know if it was referring to that. And I remember he tried to talk about shielding the heavenly energies or something.
I don't think it was going to make any difference. Again, appreciate that they spent the money and did look. Why not, right? But I think the ring laser gyroscope was the wrong way to go, because what you weren't the general public needs very, very simple concepts, very, very simple, to where, don't forget where a lot of the flat earth came from, which was when I was talking about simulation theory, which I still love to this day. People initially asked me, it's like, oh, hey, what, the simulation theory, well, what shape is it? And I go, well, it's flat. And they go, oh, so it's like a flat earth. I go, well, yeah, I mean, the simulation is sort of doing a flat earth thing, but it's a little bit more than that. And they just kept focusing on flat earth, to where at that point you have to follow the rules of media. One is give the people what they want. It's like, okay, fine, you want to talk about flat earth, let's talk about flat earth. And that's what we ended up doing. So in Bob's case with the ring laser gyro, it didn't matter. I mean, it's fine they wanted to do the whole shielding thing. Wasn't going to make a damn bit of difference, though, in terms of the court of public opinion, because no one's going to care. People are going to be like,
well, I can empathize with what you're saying too, because I remember I've talked with Jaron about about his part in it, and I do agree that it was deceptive editing, like where they had him. They kind of cut a whole bunch of stuff out, and then he said interesting, and that was like the final line. So I can understand.
Plus, they were also angry at him because they were remember, this was a shoestring budget, the Netflix thing versus the thing that I'm going to be doing, which the budget is monstrous. When they went up the first time, they had to fly up from Los Angeles to San Fran and do the thing, right? And he melted the laser, and it was absolutely a wasted trip, right? So they used a little bit of the footage, and then they were already angry with him, and then he calls him back up again, and he's going, oh no, I got it fixed this time, come on up. And he still doesn't do a dry run, and they come back up a second time. At that point, it's like, oh no, they're going to take a shot at him. He's the guy. He's the goat at the end of the movie,
right?
Where they take the final shot, and it was still a good shot because, one, Jaron deserved it because he screwed up the experiment in the first place, and two, he pissed off the producers and the camera people, and so it was like the leniency that was gone. That they weren't going to give him another chance, and luckily for him, the only silver lining there, and thank God, at least I found out later, was that he finally did it in daylight to where he could actually check out the site, because people kept asking, it's like, how did you screw this up? And he goes down there, and I remember watching the live stream when he goes, oh wow, this is the first time I've actually seen this part in the daylight, and I almost dropped my drink. I was going, are you insane? You never went there when it was sunny out? You just assumed it was flat? And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, at that point. But yes, they did, through the power of editing, they did make him look bad. No question.
He tried to use a laser at first, but it was just like too far spread out, I think, over the.
Well, the first laser, he didn't have a condenser on it, and he left the laser on too long, and then the beam, the thing melted, and so at that point, it just the pattern became useless because it just spread out all over the place. The second time, he got a better condenser on it, and it worked, but he still didn't have line of sight. And so, but it didn't really matter again. And I only know this because I watched it with studio audiences, where it got to the end, and I asked people afterwards, because I asked them specifically, I go, so do you know what happened at the end of the movie? Right. I would ask just people in the audience, and they go, no, but it was bad. Right. I mean, I watched them laugh at the end. And I go, do you even understand what happened? It's like, no, but it was funny. Right. I go, kind of, but you
Hey,
kind
it really makes the flat earthers look dumb. That's the whole point of their editing.
Well, yeah, but they didn't know why.
I mean,
Meaning
yeah, exactly. I remember watching it before I got into Flat Earth and just being like, well, that was dumb. They just debunked their own experiment, and that's how it ends. But then, I have to shout out Bill Keith really quick, because he's saying it was not a ring laser gyroscope. That is a troll claim. It was a fiber optic gyroscope, and that it wasn't even, they didn't get to the second experiment. So it was all done with editing, because he said,
well, yeah, and that's fine. I was just repeating what Bob said in the movie, because he called it a ring laser gyro.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Again, the gyroscope, I think, was the wrong way to go. I mean, if you have the money to spend on it, I would have spent that sort of money on something else. But it's fine. That was his technical thing, and he wanted to go down that road. It's fine.
Yeah, that was a big concern for me too when I became a Flat Earther. I was like, so what happened at the end of this movie? And it was, I mean, obviously they edited with the word interesting when that wasn't the last thing apparently he had said. And I even talked to Jaron briefly about it, because I only talked to him a few times before he flipped. So, yeah.
they had to remember what they did. They ended it with one word, a word the public would understand. It's like, oh, interesting. And they took, and the way they leaned into it was, oh, interesting because it looks like he failed. But the general public could not even describe exactly what failed, only that it had to have failed, and they were all kind of doing the group think, where the audience is like, well, the fact that I could not get an answer out of them let me know it's like, all right, it's not that bad, but it's not great, but that's how they were going to spin it. And it helped because you didn't want a happy ending for the movie anyway. You did not want if you have a happy ending for Flat Earth, the producers would come back to haunt them, and the reception they would get. That's not what the public wanted. The public wanted Flat Earth to come out on the other side of it, which is like, okay, well, I can go home and I can sleep now because the Earth's not flat. Right?
Yeah, I do think it was a hit piece, though. I agree with you.
Oh, it was.
Absolutely
No question.
Think it was.
No question, it was a hit piece. No question. Surprising though that it became a hit piece after the conference, which was, up until that point, it was not a hit piece. It was just a human interest piece, and they were fine. It was when they realized that the conference was getting, you gotta remember, up until, what happened was when we got to the conference, the only team that was there was the Behind the Curve team. And then out of nowhere, all this other media showed up, way bigger players than Behind the Curve. And there was like, we were getting tons and tons of traction. I mean, hell, I was wearing three hot mics simultaneously. I couldn't even tell you the cameras that I was talking to, who they were with. There were so many. I mean, Howard Stern sent a team, ABC sent a team, French media sent a team, Australia sent a team. But we lost track. And then it wasn't just the 12-year-old kid that came up to was asking me a question on the microphone. It was the fact that they realized that Flat Earth was now becoming a topic that the media wanted to talk about. And that's when they're like, okay, we've got to stop this from getting, do our part to stop this from getting out of hand. But it was too late. Behind the Curve, they could spin it any way they want, but it was already out in mainstream. So it's fine. But again, the legacy of Behind the Curve, still tickles me, is that it is now included in alternative thinking courses in multiple departments, in everything from middle school to graduate programs in English speaking countries. And hell, there was a French girl, it was a couple of years ago, she did her dissertation at the Sorbonne on Flat Earth, and I helped her do it. And I mean, that's and I think she got a B+ on the whole thing, and it was wonderful. So yeah, I'm not going to ever say that if I had to go back and like, would I do Behind the Curve again? Yeah, I absolutely would, because it exceeded the let's put it this way, the production team that made it, they're not doing anything anymore, but the movie itself is never going to die because it's clean enough and it's not politically charged, and there are schools that will show it. Now granted, they're trying to show it to their students to say, look, this is what the alternative thinks, but it backfires many times. There are too many kids out there that are like, wonder why. And because what they do, and I've watched them do it, is they punch it up on their phones, and they start going down other rabbit holes on their phones, and it's like, oh yeah, you guys are screwed. You're already heading down the direction I want you to go to. I haven't even said a thing.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned your new I guess you could call it a segment, like in a bigger program that you're not really allowed to discuss. When do they have an idea about when that date will be?
If the trailers, I would imagine the trailers will come out before, well, it's July now. I would think the trailers would come out for the holiday season. The show may come out before the end of the year. It really depends, and I don't want to say too much, but there's a number of factors. I know, of course, they want to release it as soon as they can, but there's a lot of editing that has to be done, a huge amount of editing that has to be done. So I would still bank on the first part of next year, but the trailers should come out before then because they're going to want to hype this thing up, and the marketing group that is behind it is one of the biggest I can think of. So It's let's put it this way. DJ already knows this part, which is the Netflix thing was a shoestring budget. Shoestring. I mean, they shot that whole thing for less than 200K for the whole thing, and I mean, way less than 200K.
That's pennies.
Yeah, it's pennies. This is mid 8 figures.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's huge. It's freaking huge.
That's not chump change. Is it sort of like the topic? Is it sort of based around some of the things that you're into, or is it kind of all over the place?
Let's put it this. I'm going to equate it to this, and I'm not going to give anything away. Here's what it kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of, this is a great example. Mike Hughes, if you remember his name, Mad Mike Hughes, was just a stunt man who was chasing Evel Knievel's glory, right, for years, and he was never going to catch it. He comes to us, he says, hey, can you help me fund my next rocket project? And we said, yeah. In exchange, put a giant flat Earth sticker on the side of your rocket. The second he did that, television could not get enough of him. He went way past what I could do. I mean, he was on Tosh.0 almost immediately. He was doing other things, and he signed a 6-year deal with the Science Channel almost immediately. Now, being a stuntman, you know it wasn't going to end well anyway. So in his very next rocket thing, he crashed and died. Right. But the point is that before that, they could not get enough of him, and all that was taking an average stuntman and adding flat Earth to the mix. That's all it was.
Oh my god! Yeah, I heard he wasn't a real flat earther.
He wasn't. True? He absolutely wasn't. I know this for an absolute fact because there was this radio station in Kansas City that called me up out of nowhere, and they said, "Look, we've had Mad Mike on here twice, and to be honest, we're just not feeling it," which was their code for saying, we're just not buying whatever he's selling. Can you come on and talk about it instead? I go, yeah. And then when I talk to him, it's like, oh, okay, now we get it. What's happening? Because he seemed to just be going through the motions. Imagine that scenario. Again, stuntman plus flat Earth equals sensation, right? Yeah. Imagine that, but way, way bigger, where you take something and you add flat Earth to it, and all of a sudden it becomes something completely different, even though that's all you did was add flat Earth to it. And remember, in Mad Mike's case, it was just a sticker. It wasn't even him. I mean, I listened to some of his stuff. He was not. I mean, you know, he was only saying what the media wanted him to say, right? But there was no conviction behind it. No, he wasn't one of us. Not even close.
Crazy. I remember watching that too before I was into flat Earth. I watched his documentary, Rocket Man, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And then I was actually happy that he didn't die. And I was like, oh, this poor guy, he's just out of it. But he's so desperate for attention. Oh, my God.
A lot of people don't know that he was supposed to be in Behind the Curve. That he was, he was initially, he was one of the guys. Well, Eric DeBay was too. But he didn't get picked for another reason. But Mad Mike was supposed to be in it. And they thought, rightly so, because thank God they didn't. They said, what if he dies? Then what do we do? Right? Then it changes the whole tone of the movie. Now, the movie had already been released and he was still alive, but I think he died after the Denver conference, but before the Dallas conference. I have to look that up. But the point was that they backed out. They said, nah, we just don't want to take the chance. And they were right. So, but yeah, he was absolutely supposed to be in it. But the point is that it's just flat Earth has this ability to change things. I mean, Kyrie Irving, yeah, great basketball player. Talks about flat Earth, people lose their mind. The what? Shaquille O'Neal, same thing. Yeah, he talks about flat Earth. All of a sudden, his sponsors like, stop talking about flat Earth, right? And he goes on Jimmy Kimmel just to see if he can backpedal, but it turns out he was just backpedaling for the show. He never backpedaled permanently. Mike Tyson, and Emma Stone. Can't wait to pin her down on this. Which is, she basically outed herself in Begonia, and why not? What has she got to lose at this point? Well, she's a conspiracy girl, but she doesn't want to talk about it. She just wants to put it in movies. Novak, if he ever quits the game, will eventually talk about it, but he's not going to talk about it while he's still playing because it's a distraction. So, yeah, anybody that talks about flat Earth, it adds it into it. So imagine adding adding flat Earth to something that's never been added to before, and it'll, if I'm right, again, it doesn't matter if you love it or hate it, the reactions, people will not be able to help themselves. They will have to react to it because it's just too in their face, and they'll be like, again, out of anything that's on the show, they have to point, and I've analyzed it every different way. It's like, oh no, this is going to be one of the most interesting parts of it. Not me, the topic. So if they do, it'd be like, and I warned them as well. I go, if you do this, there will be some backlash, and they seem to be fine with it. So
yeah,
interesting stuff. Well, hey, I spin. Anything else on your mind? We gotta let you go.
No, I mean, well, I was curious. I had one more question, honestly, and it was just about Dave Weiss. Do you think he, like, going back to TFE, do you think he made the right call to say no to Duffy when Duffy invited him on the show?
No, he should have never gone at that thing. And Dave's ego aside, Dave's fine, by the way.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm the most down to earth guy there is.
Yeah, I've done 2,000 interviews. I know. Buy my t-shirts.
I'll go on anyone's podcast. Anyone.
Get a blue dot. Sign up for the app. So the give it to free if you sign up a dozen people. Okay. So no, when Dave said that the whole thing, the TFE was initially set up for him, I absolutely agree. They did not even call me, and mostly because of the app. They want the app gone, and they don't want to just destroy it. I mean, if they wanted to, they could go out and crush the thing. If claim some sort of heavy data leak and make it seem, but they would draw attention to it if they were doing that. Dave, should not have gone to Antarctica. Good that he didn't. I don't know what happened to the Antarctica people. They all came back different, in my opinion, in different forms. And I'm glad that David, didn't go down there. And who knows, maybe David would have not played ball at all, and maybe something would have happened to him. So he's done a lot of the heavy lifting in the interview department for a number of years now, which is great. I'm glad that he's got his routine pretty much down, which is the best defense is a good offense. And TFE, I'm glad that it's gone. I'm glad that the documentary still hasn't come out, even though we have heard multiple times now. And so much time has passed. It's like, if you could release the documentary, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to do anything.
It's just, their whole thing was they killed Flat Earth, and it's just growing faster than they can even put out the content to act like it's dead. It's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So
killed Flat Earth. Yeah, we'll find out about how that goes.
Even Eric Gervais is making biblical cosmology videos now. You know what I mean? So it's for Robbie Davison to turn his back on biblical cosmology on top of it. Like, what a wild experience. But hey, you do you. All right, Iceman, thanks for being here.
Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I enjoyed it. Y'all have a good night.
Take care. Great question. Bye. Hey, those were honestly some of my questions about how the Behind the Curve ended, and it's been nice to have a front row seat to hearing the explanations and to know like that makes more sense, and it's a badge of honor at this point, and I have full confidence round 2 for you. It'll be a very interesting story arc, so I look forward to seeing that as all of you. All right, with that, Mark, say goodnight. It's time to go to bed.
Good night, Mark.
Good night, Strange Lounge. Great to see everybody. Have a wonderful night. We'll be back next week on Mark Sargent's channel for Strange World. And with that, have a wonderful night.
Katy Perry, Artemis.
Katy Perry.
Stay strange, stay curious.
Turn the lights down low. You made it through the strange world. Now come chill with us in the lounge. Neon drips off the city sky. Static hearts, but we're still on high. Phones light up like constellations. Every call is a revelation of the world bends. After the show, we'll let the truth move. Soft and slow, no maps here, no wrong or right. Just strange souls up late tonight. Sit that sound, let the doubt unwind. Leave any fear
What hell are those? Ma'am, not that firing! Hold on! They're just like in that movie! I know! Just keep your head down!
Move your body, feel that beat. In the strange lounge. Stay curious now. Let's breathe like a velvet dream. Baseline pulls you in between. Truth can dance, doesn't have to fight. Feels better in the afternight. Laugh it off, let it get surreal. What's imagined starts to feel real. No agenda, just vibes tonight. Strangers safe under a lounge light. If the world feels upside down, we spin it back flat with sound. Take a seat, take a chance. Lose yourself inside this dance. Welcome to the strange lounge, where the night don't judge you. DJ Curious on the waves. Mark Sargent keeping it brave. Call it in, let it spill out loud. Every truth a part of the crowd. Turn the strange into something sweet. Move your body, feel that beat. Stay curious now. Stay curious now. Not here to save the world, just here to feel it. Not here to prove a thing, just let it move you. Strange. Welcome to the strange lounge, where the weird feels beautiful. After dark, after truth, after everything you knew. Hands up, let the signal glow. This is where no one is a stranger, you know. Lost or not, you're not alone. In the strange lounge feels like home. DJ Curious. Mark Sargent. You're still here. Stay strange. Stay curious. Oh yeah. Curious, curious, curious.
Artemis.